And welcome to day 14, the end of week 2 of the 6-week challenge. Now the time's gone really quickly for me, and we are a third of the way through the challenge, which is great, and making fantastic progress with the program, which is really cool as well. Although next week is going to be a bit of a bugger. It's going to be quite tricky for me, really. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but tomorrow night I'm out in London with a client. We're going to a restaurant. I think it's called Ikoyo. I can't pronounce it. It's an African style restaurant which has a tasting menu, so 6 courses with wine. So tomorrow night is going to be a bit of a blowout. There's no two ways about it. And then next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, is Father's Day. So my wife and my daughter are going to take me out for lunch. I think we're going to Zizi's, so Italian restaurant. And again, that's going to probably be a bit of a blowout eating wise. So this week there's going to be 2 days where I'm not going to be sticking to my calorie deficit. I will be carrying on exercising, although Wednesday morning, coming back from London, I get back here probably just after midnight, up at 7ish in the morning to get my daughter up and then get her ready and take her to school. So I'm going to be hanging a little bit, so it's going to be tricky for me to hop on the exercise, but I can do some work. But I'm going to try, but there is a chance I might miss out. I know myself. I know if I'm absolutely shattered and hungover, there's a chance I won't be able to do it because I'm human like everybody else, but I'm going to try and push through it, but we'll see. So the next coming week is going to be quite tricky, and psychologically it's going to be quite hard as well, because whenever I've done the program in the past, I've stuck to it very rigidly. I've not deviated at all. I've not dropped off the wagon one little bit. I've always managed to maintain. However, the fact I did that in the first week and still had great loss gives me hope. But next week, I mean, we'll do the weigh-in tomorrow and talk about what my goals are for the next week, but I'll be happy if I maintain. I'll be happy if I lose maybe £1, maybe £2 in the week after next, or the week coming, but we'll see. And I'll talk about that tomorrow. But it brings me on to the topic I want to talk about today. And it is to do with eating and to do with breaking out of the plan, and actually what happens if you fall off the wagon and how you actually deal with cravings, and what you how you deal with temptations. And the first point of this is what you do with temptations at home. Now I always found that with Stockholm, I got a young daughter, so we'd always have lots of crisps, snacks knocking around, just in case you had friends round. We have some popcorn in case we're going to watch a movie at home, maybe the odd chocolate bar, some ice creams in the freezer, bread because we make her sandwiches for her lunch, and then you've got various spreads, jams, all those kind of things which are pretty tempting when you're restricting your calories a little bit and trying to get that calorie deficit, and when you're quite frankly feeling a little bit peckish, or your body's getting rid of fat and it's going, hey, give me some more food. So what do you do? Well, number one thing is you try to not to have these things in the house. And this is one of the things I try to do, or try to compartmentalize those things across. So there are things in the house, but they belong to my daughter, and my love for her means that I will have too much guilt to take her food or steal the grubs from her mouth, as my wife likes to put it. Aside from that, we've got a pretty healthy fridge, pretty stocked with healthy, good things. We just don't buy the crap and have the crap in the house. Things like biscuits, no, because we don't want my daughter eating those either, because they're not good for her. So they aren't in the house. So when that temptation strikes, when that little voice in my head is going, hey, come on, Rob, nibble something, eat something, I'm there able to go, well, actually, I'd love to, but there's nothing really here to eat. Then what I do, the next step, is I have a few nice little replacements in the house. Now I'm going to talk more about meal replacements in the next week or so. And when I talk about meal replacement, I think things like you can substitute rather than replacing your meals, although I will talk about meal replacement shakes as well, and what my opinion on those is, which is a mixed bag. So things like, for example, I've got these lovely low-calorie jellies, which taste nice. They're 5 calories a pop, so it doesn't impact, but it makes you feel like you've had something sweet, a nice sweet treat. I love to have a latte in the afternoon when my wife gets back from work, and we make that with almond milk, and I use a low-calorie, 0-calorie vanilla syrup to give it a bit of sweetness in it, and that is absolutely delicious. It's creamy, it makes you feel like you've had something, and it rocks up at 26 calories. Now, if I was doing that with whole milk, then that would be rocking up at near like 110, 120 calories. So it saves me, especially when you're following a bit of restriction and trying to get that deficit, and the 2,000 a day deficit, which is what I'm targeting at a bare minimum. So that's one of the ways you can deal with cravings, is to not have things in the house, and 2 is to have some kind of substitutes that help you with those cravings when they come, and they will come. other times, though, you'll find that you're just okay and cool with it. Last night we were sat there watching, I can't remember what I was watching actually with my wife. I think I was watching a new series of Killing Eve on the BBC. And my wife said, oh, I mean, I really fancy some toast. Do you mind if I have some toast? And in the past, I might have been like, oh, well, that would be a bit of a struggle. Smelling freshly cooked toast is just delicious. Freshly toasted bread is one of, it's just a very addictive smell, especially she put honey on it as well, which I think I suggested. But actually, I was totally cool with it and I didn't crave it. And I was okay because I was in the right mindset, in the right mind zone for it. But another time, it might have been a struggle. And it's great to have that support from her to be able to ask. But of course, I'm not going to say no to her if she's hungry or craving something. I'm not going to be like, no, woman, you can't have that, you can't do that. I mean, I'd be a dick if I was going to do that. But actually being able to control that was very, very easy. But another time it might be challenging. And if it was challenging, then I'd think of a substitute. I might have a glass of Diet Pop. I might, have one of those jellies, maybe have another coffee, but make it a decaf. I don't know, something that would give me, if I was after something sweet, would deal with that craving, with that urge that we actually have. So what I urge you to do off the back of this is to have a think about what it is that you might crave, things that you could actually not have in the house anymore that wouldn't cause any mischief not having them, and also what you might be able to drop in place if you have a craving for something sweet or otherwise or savoury. What could you actually do to replace that, which would give you something for your mouth to do, something for your mouth to chew, but would actually end up coming in at a lot less calories, so it would then give you the chance of getting that deficit that we've been talking about. So have a think about that, have a think about things that might work for you as well. And in a later video I'll talk about some of the substitutes that I use that make the world of difference in recipes and generally in life. Anyway, it's been great talking, and I will speak to you tomorrow when it is weigh day, and we'll see how we've done this week. So I'll speak then. Bye.